What's up, guys? My name is Witty, and we are back on PALWORLD today to talk about PAL merchants, wandering merchants, the black marketeer, and all the other fun humans that are actually useful that you can capture and bring back to your base in order to take advantage of for whatever you see fit, but hopefully it's just for using their shops. Now, there are a couple different towns around the map, and you can capture different merchants at each of them. The first one that you'll probably encounter is just down here near the beginning of the game, and it is called the Small Settlement. So we will actually visit there first, just to give you guys an idea of what you might find when you check the merchants here. Now, just down the hill from the fast travel station, the first merchant that you will encounter is the PAL merchant. And the PAL merchant is exactly what you expect it to be. It will sell you various different PALs. I'm not exactly sure what these gory rats are showing up for. It must be some kind of conflict with a mod that I have or something, because you can clearly see it says my PAL, but I don't think I have these guys anymore, so I must have dropped them and they somehow wound up in this store. Anyways, the PAL merchant has up to 5 by default different PALs, and you're able to see their passive skills and all of that fun stuff. And you can also, more importantly, sell extra PALs to the PAL merchants. And this scales depending on the PAL's level. So if I was to sell, for example, a level, let's see if I could find a PAL that I have a level 1 of. There's one. This will only be 554 gold coins for this Ragnarok. Whereas if I was to sell one that was level 25, it's going to cost 1,764. So you can see how you'll be way better off selling PALs that you've leveled up a little bit, instead of just freshly bred level 1s that you don't need anymore. But you absolutely can do both. Now, the only other PAL that is actually in the small settlement is the wandering merchant here with the red coat on. And if you interact with her, you will notice that she actually sells a couple of custom hats. They're just essentially cosmetics. They do have a little bit of stats, but again, mostly cosmetics. This merchant is also where you can find berry and wheat seeds, as well as other ingredients such as milk berries and wheat themselves, and eggs. We have to mention those. There are a lot of useful things in this merchant, and this is one of the first ones I strongly recommend everyone captures, because, I mean, you can see my screen here. This is a ridiculous amount of resources that you have access to with just gold, and having any kind of gold farm at all. This will progress you extremely quickly and efficiently if that's your end goal. As for any wandering merchant, we can use them to also sell resources. Any resources will be able to be sold to any wandering merchant, and it is as simple as right-clicking them and clicking the sell button. The second one that we're going to talk about is actually Dune Shelter, and this is located at the coordinates 350, 350, essentially. And once you enter the town and make your way up this very long alley, you will run into 3 merchants total. First and foremost, we'll go ahead and knock this out because it's essentially the same. You will run into another PAL merchant here. These gory rats are still showing up for some reason. I'm really not sure what's going on with that, but it is what it is. Now, here's a good example of a PAL that we might want. Digtoise, with the patch especially, is extremely good as a miner, both in your party and your base. So this Digtoise having Artisan is really good for us. Maybe we would end up buying this. Next, we haven't talked about this wandering merchant yet, the one with the green coat. This is the arguably most important merchant that you can catch outside of the one that we just talked about a second ago in the small settlement, because this one in the endgame is going to provide you with all of your ammunition. As you can see, we have every kind of ammunition in this merchant except for rockets, and you even have access to heat and thermal resistant undershirts, and these are going to help you with, obviously, heat and cold resistance. Very, very useful, especially if you're navigating in the volcano or the desert or even the ice mountain. We do have another 6 cosmetic hats here as well. These ones are honestly my favorite ones. You have the Toko cap, you have the Catris cap, and of course all the other fun ones. The musket is here as well. You can get a pretty early on gun if you're willing to risk coming here to get the merchant. Keep in mind though that it is only level 11, but this zone has plenty of level 30s and 40s in it, so you do have to be very careful. Now, this red coat wandering merchant, again, it is going to be very similar. However, this one has tomato and lettuce seeds, as well as a couple extra things that you may not have seen in the small settlement version. We have high quality PAL oil, tomatoes and lettuce, and we even have megaspheres and skill fruits. The last camp, settlement, town that we're going to talk about is at the very southwest of the map, and it is called Fisherman's Point. This is going to be located at -475, -750. I believe there are 2 merchants here as well. You will run into yet another green coat wandering merchant, and this one is going to sell you even more cosmetics. Now, this helmet here is a softball, baseball helmet. It isn't exactly good looking, but it is funny, in my opinion. There is also obviously a bunch of heat resistant things here to fit the theme. We are at a town that is just at the base of a volcano after all. And this merchant sells a makeshift handgun, which is another great option as opposed to the musket from the other merchant. You also can buy the fire arrow crossbow, fire arrows, and of course ammunition. So if you're unable to capture the merchant in the dune shelter for some reason, you are more than welcome to come try this one. It may be easier. It really just depends, because sometimes these PIDF guys, they get aggressive, and yeah, it's not a fun process. If we come on down here though, you will find yet another blue coat PAL merchant, and this functions the same as the others. You are way more likely to find fire PALs in this one, obviously because we're near a volcano. This would be a pretty decent Vanworm early on, for example. It has Ferocious, so it has an attack increase, and Vanguard is actually going to increase the player attack, so not bad at all on that. And we are going to travel to one of my bases just to kind of give you guys a little bit of an idea how this works. Now, I have quite a few of them captured already. I believe I have 1 of each. We haven't gone over the Black Marketeer yet, but we will go over those in just a second. Now, to kind of show you what the PAL Merchant refreshing looks like, if I was to open the PAL Merchant here, I'm going to go ahead and just buy these gory rats to get them off the screen because I really don't understand why they're there. Anyways, you can see that the stock currently is a Toko Toko, Jolthog, Kativa, Univolt, and Direhowl. If I was to come back into my PAL box and refresh the PAL Merchant, the next time that I check her stock, it will be 5 different PALs. Now, let's go ahead and talk about the Black Marketeer. There are quite a few of these around the map, and they are essentially overpowered PAL merchants. You're able to buy much rarer and better PALs from them. We're going to be showing a map on the screen of where you can find these Black Marketeers. I will have the link in the description to an interactive map as well, so you're able to track them down yourself more accurately. But that's pretty much all these guys are, is a super overpowered PAL merchant. You don't need to capture one. It's actually better to farm them for gold keys as well as gold coins by capturing and butchering them, but I wanted to have 1 of each because why not? And that's gonna kind of do it for this video. There really wasn't a whole lot of extra things to talk about. If I missed something, please feel free to let me know in the comments. Hopefully this taught you guys everything you need to know about the merchants, where you can get them, and how you can take advantage of them in your base. I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video. Thank you guys for all the support recently. Peace.